Hey, everybody. We are Geeking Out Ninjas, and we're here to geek out. Craig, what's going on?
Uh, you know, the huge,
The
the
you.
huge, just registering my kids for school.
What?
Yeah.
Is it time?
Well, so we have one kid going into kindergarten in the fall.
Right, right.
Let's be honest, it's like late summer. Like, when does school start in the middle of August? I still think it's too early. Like, when I went to school, it was too early. I feel like that's still too early for me.
Well, they try to get out before June.
Yeah, but who cares though? Like, what's 2 weeks? Like, what else are they learning in those 2 weeks? Like, just let them start September 1st.
I remember starting after Labor Day.
Yeah, that used to be the thing.
Yeah.
For some stupid reason, they're like, well, you know what? We need kids in school more because we need to make more money from the government.
I guess that's what it is. I don't know.
I think that is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're registering our one daughter for kindergarten,
Mhm.
which school registration has got a little too sophisticated, if you ask me. Everything's online now. So
Right.
I'm just now going through all this stuff. Literally everything is online. You fill out like a bajillion forms, you agree to everything. Who's reading it? I don't know. But you're agreeing to it. So
Yeah.
that's all that matters. I could be agreeing that they're gonna spank my kid and like torture him for all I know, because I'm not gonna sit there and read every single document. But
I
um,
think there's a few rules that they can't break.
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Um, so that was part of today. So we're still going through the kindergarten registration, but we have like the summer uh, like kids program thing
Mhm.
uh, that our kids are going into, and man, I received no fewer than like 24 emails about that today, about registering for this and that, and it
Oh,
was
it
just
doesn't
like
stop.
it was
It
just
doesn't.
it was insane. It happened all at one time. So somehow they have my email, but they also have our family email. So we have like an email address that my wife and I share for specific like bills and
Sure.
kids things and cars and things like that. Um, but they sent it to both of them. So my phone is just like blowing up, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, first of all, why do I need 12 separate emails to tell me that I'm filling out a form on a website? Like, just send me one email and be like, hey, you have like 12 tasks that you need to complete. Like, don't send me a separate email for every single task.
But it's less efficient if they send you an email for every task.
Apparently so. Now I've got to like, so I'm one of those people who hates like tons of things in my inbox.
Yes.
Like, I'm not an inbox zero kind of guy because I just can't ever get down to that. But I like to be able to fit everything. So I use Google. I like to fit everything on one Google page. Like, I don't want to have to go to the second page to see the very beginning of my emails. So it's 50 emails. I try to
Right.
keep it below 50 emails at all
Mhm.
times.
Mhm.
And so this just like completely screwed everything up. I've got to like archive so many emails just to get them out of the inbox. Like, I can't deal with this. Just stay away, please.
Well, I try to keep it condensed to where I don't even have to scroll down to see them. Like I just like them all on when I glance at it because then I
Yep.
get they just build up. It seems like I go from 5 to 60,
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
happens
like,
real
oh my
fast.
gosh, my life just kind of gets all stressed, and I got to clean that mailbox out. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
why am I hanging onto this email? I got to let it go. I got to let
yeah.
it go.
I do that after a while.
It took a few years, but I do use what with Gmail. Of course, I use tags, and so I'm able to move
Oh yeah.
things out.
Yeah,
But
you can tag them and then you can archive them and then
yeah,
you can easily pull them up. But the search in Gmail is so good anyways, like you
yeah.
could almost archive everything and go back and search for it later if you wanted to.
Well, that's what I do really. For I have a couple of tags that I put things in, but then for the most part, it's just all archived. And then if I need it, I know I can go in there and look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
crazy.
that's what I've been dealing with today. What's going on with you, Jeremiah? Have some
Well,
exciting news, right?
very exciting news. You are listening and looking at a new Amazon Web Services Solutions Architect Associate. I
Woo!
passed my
Wait.
certification.
He's certified, folks.
I am now certified to architect your computing and network needs in the Amazon cloud.
Or to be an associate to the architect. This is
Well,
like one of those the office things.
assistant to the
Yeah.
no. So there is a higher level, which is the professional
Right.
architect. But I think that's more of your CTOs, CIOs, your executive level type people. There are a lot of different kind of jobs that an architect can do, even an associate architect. So it opens a lot of doors if I were to start looking at them.
Fingers crossed.
So
You just got to start knocking on those doors.
well, and so here's my experience. I'm gonna share this. So I had to take it twice, right? So I didn't pass the first time. Um, and I went to a testing facility and took the test.
Yep.
And your standard place, you go into a room, you can put on noise canceling headphones. You can't leave the room during the test.
You have to like turn in your phone or something.
Yeah, you put your phone and everything into a locker, and then you sit at a desk that it has a camera on you, and there's a camera in the room, and they're watching you. And they did say if you need to go to the bathroom, just go, but they don't want you to. They kind of need you to sit there and like take the whole test.
Yeah.
This test, I think they gave 130 minutes, so a little over 2 hours. But ever since COVID, they decided to allow people to take these tests at home. So the first time I didn't do that. And then I decided, okay, you know what? I had to wait 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm going to take it at home. So I said, so registered. I'm going to take it at home. They offered the test Monday, Memorial Day, at 7:30 p.m.
Whew.
All right, going to do it. You check in at 7, and I was like, why am I checking in 30 minutes early? What's the deal with this? It took 30 minutes. It's kind of weird. So it's like when you go to a testing center, like you give them your license and whatever, you sign the release or whatever they have you sign, and it's quick, and then they put you in the room. So I had to get my camera and microphone working. I didn't use this microphone because you can't have a microphone in the office. So I actually had to take it and move this microphone.
Interesting.
They want the desk completely clear. Even before getting to that, I have to send them a picture of myself while I'm registering through my phone and a picture of my license. So I guess they make sure it's me.
Oh yeah.
And then, I had to clear my desk of everything. Tissue box. I had like little poker chips next to my keyboard just so my fingers have something to do. I mean, everything had to be clear. I had to take the web camera and someone was actually chatting with me, like, show me your desk. Show me, because I had two monitors, show me that I'm unplugging the second monitor.
Oh,
So I
dang.
can only have one monitor alive. I had to show the TV that the TV was off. My phone had to be outside of my reach. I mean, so it's like
They're not messing around.
they are not messing around. And so, and then you download their software to take the test. And it's interesting, the software actually blocks out like your web browser, so you can't even pull one up. But the software actually looks for certain other software that's running. So I had to turn off I have an HP computer, so HP system utilities had to be shut down. Xbox Game Bar had to be shut off. I didn't even know it was running. So
Just
a little
goes to show you what's running on Windows.
Yeah, so when you start the test, a little window pops up that says, "Okay, you need to turn off these software before you can continue."
Yeah.
And of course, so I had to open the task manager to find these things and turn them off. And then and then it told me to close task manager. Like it's closed. So I had to reboot and do the whole thing over.
Oh
Show the
no.
disk again. So uh when I took the test the first time, I'll say I felt confident and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this." And I missed it. I didn't like bomb it. I was relatively close, but I still failed. So I started at 7:35, 7:40, whatever time it was. And it's Monday and everybody's home. And they all decided to watch TV and play PlayStation in the living room, which is right down the hallway. The boy was using the Oculus right outside the office in the dining room.
Nice.
Totally, totally distracted. Totally distracted. I felt terrible taking this test. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I have ever done. They are making all kinds of noise.
Yeah.
My middle daughter and boyfriend were playing like some zombie game. I don't know which one it was, but trying to tag these zombies and yelling at each other about what to do because she had just gotten her second controller so they could play games together. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And then
Awesome.
my oldest daughter obviously didn't get the memo that I was taking a test and decides to open the door and wave at me. And they tell you that nobody should come into view of the camera when you're taking the test because then
Oh no.
And so I'm like ignoring her, looking at my screen because I also don't want them to think I'm trying to look for answers.
Yeah.
And finally, my wife comes up and they close the door and then they have the conversation about it. Of course, I can hear the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was so shocked. I'll be honest. I was like, I felt bad. Like, this is I bombed that. Like, this is the worst thing. And I passed.
Just goes to show you intuition is never right.
I was so shocked. I finished it probably about 9:15, 9:20. So it took well over an hour and a half. And I'll tell you, man, I was just like in shock for like a couple of hours. Like, oh my gosh, I passed. It was crazy. It was, I don't know. I guess maybe, I don't know what happened. It was, never, don't take a test at home. If you do, make sure nobody's home.
Yeah.
They'll be gone.
Or at least you can go to a locked room where it's really quiet.
Soundproof. I will say the last probably 20 minutes, probably the last 5 to 10 questions, it was actually quiet. I guess they got tired and moved on, but but I passed.
We can leave that alone.
I've felt pretty good this week. It's been a good week.
Yeah.
I feel on top of the world. So
on top of the world, Ma. On top of the world.
Let me tell you. Pretty exciting.
Good speaking of on top of the world, have other what's new going on. So Jeremiah and I have been following this for like the past couple of weeks. I put a YouTube video up on my personal channel. It's literally titled Felicity's First Tummy Time. So that's my middle daughter's name.
It's not like it's the only video. You have a lot of videos.
I have a lot of videos. I have like over 200 videos.
Yeah.
But I posted this like 3 years ago. She was literally like 3 or 4 days old. So like brand new baby, long time ago. And for some reason, over like the last month, this video has exploded beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. I have 100 and hold on. Oh, I've lost it.
I think it's our podcast that's driving people to your.
Yeah, apparently
It's not. It's terrible.
It's probably not that.
Both of our watchers don't look at your videos.
I have 125,000 views on this video.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's obviously my most watched video by far, but I'm just like, what the heck is driving people to this video? So the demographic, the biggest geographic demographic is India.
you haven't shared that with me.
That just exploded in the last 30 days.
Wow.
62,000 people or 62,000 views in India. Like what?
Man, you're getting
How,
around.
how did this
Asia
happen?
is your market for these videos. I don't know.
Apparently I live in the wrong country because we're
You are
marketing to the
technical.
wrong country. But yeah, it's insane. This video has literally blown up over the last month. Since like probably a little bit before May, but really, I think one day's views was it's like 18,000 views in one day,
I
which,
think
for huge YouTubers, not a big deal. I'm
right.
not trying to make money or be successful on YouTube, but B, this was posted for family. That's usually what I post on YouTube is like, hey, now I can share it in like really good quality.
You should do an update video and do tummy time now with
Blow people's minds.
Whoa.
What
Look
has
that
happened to this kid?
what I love, I don't know, do you want to share this? The comments.
Oh yeah, I
There's
actually have
easy
42 comments on this.
And it's just like I don't know.
45 comments. Yeah. So it's interesting. So most people are like, "Oh, she's so cute," that kind of thing. Then
Right.
there are people that are just like dismissive, which it's the internet. It's like, really? So it's laying on its stomach? Wow. Did you not know they could do that? And I'm fixing grammar because that person couldn't use grammar to save their life.
That just comes with the territory.
Yeah, somebody was asking questions like, after how many months can you give tummy time to baby? Obviously not from America. Someone actually responded in the comments when the baby is a newborn, and the girl who asked the question responded back, "Thanks for the reply."
Well,
I have comments,
teaching people out there. That is awesome.
right? I have comments in other languages. I so my
In what do they speak in India? Sir
Hindu?
Hindu.
No, that's
No, that's a religion.
religion. Yeah.
Hindi.
I think no, I think they have a bunch of different dialects in India, so I'm not gonna try and guess.
Well, I'm gonna Google it.
Google it. So my favorite by far is the negative comment with tons of back and forth. So this lady, American, obviously, she's like, "Really? This poor baby is obviously too new to be doing baby time." Someone's response, "This is torture for these just born babies. They need to get stronger before they are let on their tummies."
Torture.
Here's the thing. The video is a minute and a half long. A minute and a half of a kid on its stomach is not torture for anybody. Babies used to be set on their stomachs to sleep all the time. This is not like a huge deal.
No.
Someone says, so then the response was, "You're no fun. Let the kid struggle a little." It gets crazy. Then the next reply was, "Why? Is that what you do to your baby, worthless?" And then that person responds back, "You need to learn to punctuate properly." And then,
go for the punctuation. There you
yeah.
go.
Then the person responds back, "You need to learn to get a life. Now go take of your own now dang it. Now go take care of your own POS babies." I'm like, whoa. The comments have blown up on this in a negative way.
Whoa. Yeah. Beat. Back that up.
Yeah. And then someone who, level-headed was like, "Doctors recommend starting tummy time as soon as you bring them home." And then someone else said, "I totally agree." So I'm just like, what the heck? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they speak all sorts of different dialects in India. That's why I didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah, there's a lot. We're showing it on the screen. So Hindi is looks like the most common. I'm showing a map of the different languages.
Well, it covers the largest region, but who knows if that's where the largest population is.
India is full of people, man. I'm sure there's a ton of people in that space.
Tons and tons.
Like there's not even room for people in there anymore.
So, the other thing that blows my mind about this video?
What's that?
So when we started our podcast a couple months ago, I think I had maybe 20 or 30 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
I now have 275
Subscribers.
subscribers. I have gained 164 subscribers. Hold on. 195 subscribers just from this video alone.
That
I'm like, what are
are
you
they
people
watching other
expecting me to
videos?
post?
I think you need to put more tummy time videos up is what you need to do.
Apparently. But I have some of my other videos have gotten more traction since then, but I'm unsure. Like I have a Felicity's first playtime that has gone up dramatically recently.
She's a YouTube star.
She apparently is one. And then Felicity likes mom's toes. I thought that one was just for perverts at first because I thought foot fetish people were finding this video. I think it might have extended beyond the foot fetish people.
I can't even breathe. That was funny.
And then
that one.
And then there's the other pervert titled video where it's called diaper change, but it's my daughter who's like pretending to like change her doll's diapers
right
and all that stuff. That has 16,000 views. I'm like, what the heck?
Wow.
Like, people are searching for this. That's the creepy part, right?
Yeah, that's when you start finding out what people are looking for. That's not that's terrible stuff.
Yeah, it makes you a little disturbed.
Little creepy being on the internet after that.
So it's also interesting to see. So once again, I'm not a YouTube star of any shape or kind, but it's interesting to see like the comments, just the 45 comments on that video.
Right.
What like the microcosm of the internet in this one small place, and it's 10 times worse on these videos that have like 1 million views or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, I'm just it's amazing yet not shocking in the least. Just because people are weird. But yeah, it's interesting to me.
Well, and that's that's part of the fun of looking at Facebook is reading the comments sometimes on some stuff that gets posted.
Yeah.
We in Facebook you can join groups. And so we were part of a group for Cibolo shirts because that's where we lived at one time. And man, people were ruthless. And you're in the same community. And it wasn't like it's from all over the internet. It was people living, within this little 2 cities right outside of San Antonio. And man,
yeah.
Certain people you knew were going to make a fuss, and you kind of, when you started to read the comments, you're like, oh, there she goes again, or there he goes again. So
it's going to be the same people over and over.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well,
all right, let's get into the news.
Awesome. You want me to start?
Just my article first. News music at some point.
Probably. Why don't you start? I want to save the one that's kind of lighthearted towards the middle, maybe.
Which one?
Why don't you pick?
Oh, the first one you have on here?
Yeah. Let's save that for the middle to kind of lighten things up.
I'll be honest.
That's a pun. You'll hear it later.
Nah. So haven't covered these two topics, I feel like, in a couple weeks, just because of your daughter's boyfriend's comments. But we're back with Tesla and SpaceX, so deal with it.
There you go.
So Tesla has confirmed, or AMD has confirmed, that Tesla will have essentially a slightly less powerful computer than a PlayStation 5 in their Model S and Model X. So you could straight up play hardcore. Obviously, they'll have to be programmed for the Tesla, but hardcore video games in your car.
Yes.
The only reason you would do this is because charging can sometimes take a long time if you're trying to fill it all the way to 100%. Even if it's not, I mean, it's still 20 minutes or something. You can kind of start a game up, play real quick, put it away.
No.
It seems strange, right?
It does. I don't get it. Look, are they doing this because they want people to game? I don't. I mean, I understand having a powerful system because it's going to be able to do other things than play games. But
Oh yeah.
why would that be the first thing people think of? Let's play a game. I don't know. I
Well,
don't need to go shoot
because
zombies while I'm waiting for my car to charge.
well, Elon is a big gamer, so
Is he?
this is a big deal for him.
Okay.
And so he's made a point of adding. There's been other games already on like the Model 3, Model X,
Like Snake?
Model Y. No. So there's like a dune buggy game that you can play. Uh, there's a slightly more difficult game called Cuphead. It's like a platformer
Oh, yeah.
type game that's really difficult. I've never played it, but it is available. These are all free to play on the Tesla vehicles. Like you're not paying extra to play these games, which is kind of crazy.
Well, on my first cell phone, Snake was free, and that was hours of fun.
That is true. Slightly less complicated to make that game. Probably was like one guy programming that game. But yeah. So it's, I mean, kind of interesting. It's only going to be on the new Model S and Model X vehicles, the ones that cost a small fortune. So, I mean,
Right.
give them a little bit of extra something something for their money. I mean, usually the model or the Tesla early adopter crowd, the people who are going to pay for that are probably people who are into gaming or stuff like that. But I'm curious to see what else they do with the power that
Right.
they're putting in there. Like, are they going to make other experiences that you can only have on a Tesla vehicle?
See, and that's what I would think. I don't think they were doing just for the gaming. I'm sure there's other things that are going to be coming that will utilize the upgrade.
You
And
would
I
hope
would
so.
hope so.
So the other thing that's interesting about this, so this runs the whole media screen, right?
Mhm.
It's a whole computer that just runs that screen. Um, the I think the long-term benefit to this is it's going to be the fastest media interface in a car, period. Like you've gotten into like new cars, right? And the interface is laggy
Right.
already. You know why? It's because they're putting in like processors that are like 5 years old already. It takes
Yeah.
them that long to develop this stuff where the technology that they're putting in vehicles is so old. Like this, they're putting in right now, it's brand new technology. Like it came out and they just announced it at AMD's conference, and they're going to start putting it in like laptops and other things.
Yeah.
So this is like a brand new set of chips, set of technology that they're announcing to add on here. So it's just kind of crazy that they're not like just behind, they're like far ahead of what anybody else is doing. And it's going to keep this computer running a media screen running for really fast for decades,
Well,
probably.
and I found an article and I didn't pick it because I thought you would, but Android now is starting to really amp up their software for cars. Did you see that article?
The Android Automotive, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't talked about it yet on this, I don't think, but yeah,
No.
they've slowly gotten a lot of car manufacturers on board with their platform. So Volvo was the first one.
Right.
So they released it on their Polestar sub brand, which is their
Mhm.
electric only vehicle brand.
Right.
I know all about this and I'm super nerdy about all this stuff. I just I don't know what people want to and don't want to hear about, so I don't always talk about everything
Well, if they would like our podcast, subscribe,
and
and
leave
comment,
comments.
then we would know.
We
So
would
I'm okay with this. I think this is good stuff.
Let's do it. So yeah, so they were the first ones to release a vehicle with Android Automotive in it. Um, they're definitely not going to be the last.
Yeah.
GM, all their future vehicles, I think, starting with the Hummer EV, will come with Android Automotive. Um, Ford, all future Ford vehicles. I don't think it's going to come with the first version of the F-150 Lightning for some reason. It seems strange why you wouldn't release that with that vehicle at the same time. I could be wrong. It is coming to that vehicle, whether it's Oh, you know what? I think it's the Mach E that it's not coming to. I think it's starting in the Ford F-150 Lightning.
Okay.
And then the next version of the F1 or the Mach E will have it.
Well, it only makes sense to have a company that's creating operating systems to do something like that instead of
Yeah.
each manufacturing trying to pay for their own developers and programmers to come up with something just because it'll be different than
Yeah.
their rival.
But yeah, and that's what's great about what Android or Google is allowing you to do with Android Automotive, is that you can customize it to look the way you want,
Right.
but at the base, it's still the same operating system. You get for the most part, you get all the same features in whatever car you're in. It still supports Apple CarPlay, Android Auto if you plug your phone into it. You can use those features if you want to, but you don't have to get Google Maps and Spotify and YouTube Music if you want YouTube Music. The Google Assistant, like those things, you don't have to have your phone connected to your car to be able to access um, your information from those apps. So I think that's kind of a nice benefit. Is that maybe although most cars I think are coming with like wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, so
Yeah.
not a big deal there. But I think it's nice that they're still giving the car manufacturers a choice of how they want the operating system to look.
Right. Right.
And so, yeah, it's really interesting to see where that's going to go over the next few years. So, um, unfortunately, I'll never probably get it because I'll be in a Tesla for a really long time.
Well,
But
it used to be like, so I had a Chevy Tahoe for a few years, and before really I was using my phone as my GPS. You had to pay for GPS through OnStar,
oh yeah,
and the maps were not up to date,
nope, yeah,
and you'd have to pay upwards of $100 to update the maps. And I'm
yeah.
like, this is ridiculous. And I think by the time I realized it, I was like, well, I'm using my phone now anyways. That was just I never liked the OnStar software.
Yeah.
It was terrible, but
Well, even things like that, you would have to take it into the dealer. You would have to have them update the
right.
maps, or you'd have to like create a special USB device and somehow connect it to your car. And then, like that's how my wife's car is. So you can download map updates through her through her Volvo. But I think if you want like an updated maps for like the whole country or something, you have to like put it on a USB stick because it's too
Right.
large to download. And it's like you have to format it a certain way. And I'm like, nobody in their right mind is going to be able to figure this out. Like it took me forever to do this. And I'm technical. So like this is ridiculous. So the fact that they can obviously Google Maps is updated all the time, but more car manufacturers are seeing what Tesla's doing with their vehicles, and they're like, hey, we want to update our cars and add features and things that people want and fix cars without having to do recalls and
Right.
things like that. I mean, it's going to save car manufacturers millions and millions of dollars by putting Android Automotive, not just like you said, they're not going to have developers on staff doing the same thing that someone else could do for them, but they're also going to save time and money by not having to bring cars in, not having to do recalls, not having to update things by having people sit at the dealer for 2 hours while they update software. And you know,
Yeah.
it's gonna save people time. It's gonna save them tons of money. It's a win-win for everybody. Every car manufacturer needs to get on board with this. Like, let's stop putting out terrible operating systems.
Right. Exactly. They build cars, make the car, leave the software to a software
Somebody
company.
else. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, let me move on to our next article, which I will say we're pro Google here, right? We like Google. Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're not flawless.
No. And so there is an article here that Google recently, there's court documents now that really kind of show that Google isn't perfect and that
Found this on the web.
thanks.
No, yeah, apparently
Appreciate that.
you started talking about it too much. It actually found court documents for random.
Yes.
Random.
Yes. But Google admitted that they're employees of Google that admitted that privacy is almost impossible on Android, on your
I think it
Android
was
device.
location data privacy.
Specifically, yeah, location data. So basically, even if you would tell an app that you wanted to allow or not allow the location, Android would still collect that information and
Right.
wouldn't necessarily put it in the app, but it would actually collect it for Google. And the I it's kind of for me like now seeing that Apple is taking the extra step about helping their consumers with privacy. It just kind of hurts a little bit that Google actually reached out to the manufacturers of phones and asked them to help them hide the setting
Yeah.
to keep your location private. And it just goes to show you that every company is going to, I don't think they're out to get anybody necessarily, but they're just trying to collect data
Yeah.
and use this data for their benefit. And so now there's an article that's just showing that these are the people that have testified, and this has been in court, so no one's supposed to be lying. So it's just kind of a reminder that privacy is still, we got to do the best on our own. That is, other companies aren't going to take care of our privacy, and we've got to try to do our best to cover our tracks. And if we really want to be private, we really need to take the steps to make sure we're doing that correctly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't trust any huge corporation that's making money off of you for you not paying for something, essentially.
Right.
So it's kind of, you got to put it in your own hands, but they definitely don't make it easy to put it in your own hands, as this article shows, where even if you turn off location tracking, they can still track your location. And it doesn't say necessarily what they're doing with the location data.
Right.
I and I'm I don't know everything that they're doing with it, but I would imagine that they're probably using some of it for Google Maps data. So there's a lot of Maps data that's very beneficial for people that it would be hard for them to probably let people give them voluntarily. Like just and some of the features I think we talked about last week.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like how crowded a place was, like
Mhm.
traffic data. Like if you're on a highway or something, like if you're sitting there standing still for so many seconds or so many minutes, that gets uploaded and now it's part of Google Maps data so that you know what the traffic is like. So I think some of the things that benefit Google Maps users
Right.
are probably some of the reasons why. And like I said, I don't know all the reasons, but I would imagine that's probably at least partial part of the reason why they're collecting that data is to use in Google Maps.
And I'll say this. So my middle daughter has got a job, and one of the first things she's going to do with her money is join a gym. And I'm saying this because she is using Google Maps and looking at the crowd setting
Yeah,
and trying to pick a gym.
based on how crowded they are.
Yes. And
Nice.
she specifically told me, I looked, and this gym is not as crowded as the other one. There's more people, and I just found that funny.
That's awesome. So yeah, you got to protect yourself. You got to do your due diligence to make sure you're keeping the data you want protected.
Of course, of course. What else you got?
Starship.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we all know, because I think I announced it on here.
Yes.
SpaceX finally landed a Starship like a month ago. I think it may not have been a month ago. It feels like it's been a long time. I don't think they've launched one in a while, maybe like 2 weeks or something like that.
Mhm.
But because of that success, and I'm sure for other reasons, because of their past success, I think they had 100 successful missions in a row with their Falcon 9 platform just this past weekend.
Wow.
That was like the 100th in a row over the last five years, which is pretty impressive track record.
Right.
Um, the U.S. Air Force is, and not naming SpaceX or Starship, they are allocating funds in their budget to help with the development and testing of commercial rockets to deliver Air Force cargo anywhere on the Earth in less than 1 hour with a 100-ton capacity, which can only mean it's a Starship vehicle because nothing else
Can
on the
do that.
planet
Yeah.
can do that. Which, I mean, that's one of the things that they've touted for a while, and that's one of their next. I think they want to test this in July. So they want to fly from Boca Chica. Well, I guess they don't call it Boca Chica anymore. The Starship, whatever they call it. Boca Chica, Texas. I'm just going to go with that. Near Brownsville. They're going to launch a rocket from there, and I think it'll be the Starship with the actual. I forgot what the both pieces are called. But they're going to launch those to an island off like Hawaii, like
Right.
a small island off the coast of Hawaii. So I think they want to do that test in July, but their goal is to get there in about an hour, which would be insane. If you've ever been on a
It's
plane
crazy.
from the United States to Hawaii, you know that you usually leave out of either LA or Phoenix, and it takes like 8 hours.
Right.
So to get there from Boca Chica, Texas, near Brownsville, which is further away than both of those places, down to Hawaii in an hour would be insane.
No layover.
No layer, it's a direct flight.
How insane would that be?
Could you imagine Earth to Earth travel being that quick from anywhere in the world to like, and I'm there
No,
and I'm there in less than an hour?
that's so crazy. Anywhere though. I mean,
Yeah.
cross oh, the fact that that is even possible now.
Well, I mean, they're
Well,
still working on the technology, but that's one of the goals they want to use Starship for.
yeah, and I don't know how soon that would be viable for, everyday business people to do it, but I'm still the fact they're moving that this is the direction we're moving into is, crazy. Cross continental flights in an hour would be life changing for a lot of people and companies,
Yeah.
for pretty much everyone.
Yeah. I'm curious how much they'll charge, how many people they'll be able to hold, all those things. I'm sure they don't have the answers as of yet, but still interesting to see. So back to the Air Force.
Right.
So obviously the Air Force wants to be able to use that same technology to deploy troops, vehicles, different whatever they wanted, different payloads to different parts of the Earth in like an hour. Like, could you imagine the strategic benefit you would get out of something like that?
Yeah.
To be able to drop your payload anywhere in the world in an hour.
And it says 100 tons of cargo.
Yeah,
The possibility of 100
that
tons of cargo.
that's insane. That's like, so my car weighs 4 tons. So it'd be like 25 of my cars.
Yeah.
Like,
So
that's
like,
insane.
yeah. So tanks,
Well,
vehicles.
it would have to fit inside. Obviously, if you've seen the scale, a human looks like an ant next to the Starship.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know if they could fit a tank, but they could fit a lot of other things in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Food.
Oh yeah.
Like you could, medical.
Yeah.
Like, you could in an
Don't be
hour.
crazy. We wouldn't use this sort of technology for humanitarian aid.
Well, that's what they'll say in the beginning, but yeah,
Don't be crazy.
I know. I apologize. But I mean, just the possibilities of being able to do that, of course, on a military standpoint. But I mean, seriously, with a resource rich country like we are, I mean, we could literally do better.
Yeah.
Uh,
So many possibilities you could use
yeah,
that for. But yeah, just kind of crazy to think about US militaries starting to take notice and be like, you know what, this may be a good idea.
I think so. Hey, I'm for it.
Yeah.
100%.
So did you want to end with your article?
I'll do it now because it's just kind of lighthearted, and then I'll let you finish up. So I just found an article. Speaking of earlier videos that go viral, it's just an article. Did you watch this video by the way?
I'll be honest, I have not.
So Anyways, it's just a quick article about this particular video where a guy has a big trailer, tractor trailer, in his lot, and it has the big tire. It's one of the big tires is flat. It's probably the tire itself is probably close to like 6 feet tall, 5.5 feet tall. So it's a
Yeah.
big tire. And it's
Have you ever
flat.
seen these things drive on the highway?
Oh, super
Not-
slow.
Well, no. So I'm sorry, just the tires themselves. I've seen them on flatbed trucks.
Oh yeah.
They're enormous. These tires are gigantic. It's insane.
And so it's just a funny video. This older gentleman, I mean, he's not too old, but he's a little bit older. So like he's been around for a while doing different things. He is speaking another language, but he is telling the video essentially that he will be able to fill the tire with air by pouring gasoline into the tire and lighting it on fire, so that I guess the hot air the heat expands the air and instantly fills the tire instead of trying to put air in it with the compressor. So he has a water bottle with some kind of accelerant. I'm assuming gasoline. This is what the article says. So then he pours it probably a 20-ounce bottle of gasoline into the tire while it's on the rim. I mean, it's attached to the vehicle. And he's doing this with the confidence of, hey, I've done this before. I'm a genius. And then he gets a torch and it's probably about 3 feet away, maybe 2 feet, and lights it.
Yeah.
It's
fire on a stick.
Yeah. And then it explodes because it's gasoline. And the video cuts off. He's kind of surprised.
It's like, how did this not work?
And I'm thinking, that is dumb. You pour that much liquid in there, yeah. You light it on fire, it's gonna blow up. Oh
yeah.
I'm gonna put it on our Facebook page so you can watch this video. It's ridiculous, and I think nobody was hurt. So the fact that nobody was hurt makes it really funny that this guy thought this was a genius idea.
I think maybe his ego was hurt a little bit because he was just astounded that this didn't work like he thought.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know who leaked it, because if I did something like this and it didn't work out, I would not want that video to get out.
Yeah, right. He was probably so confident about it. He had it live streaming or something. He's
right.
Like, what's this?
Facebook Live. Oh my gosh, yeah. So it's just an article. I don't know how it came onto my feed, but I thought, well, I'm going to share this because it's ridiculously funny watching it. So I'm going to put it on our Facebook page. If you're interested, go check it out. Just a few seconds, 30 seconds maybe.
Back to doom and gloom.
There we go.
Back to where I live my life. Amazon devices will soon automatically share your internet with your neighbors.
What?
Is that your son in the doorway?
Yes, it is. Apparently he is needing the Oculus.
Good to know. Thanks, Brady.
A good catch there. I didn't even see him.
I can see him in the TARDIS.
The TARDIS
diagram you have behind you.
Yeah, the TARDIS does many things.
If you don't know, Jeremiah has a one of those like blueprint plans that he's got framed, but it's of the TARDIS behind him,
which is from Doctor Who, Time and Relative Dimension and Space. I don't know where I got that.
I feel like you've had it for a long time.
I was joking. You gave it to me.
Oh, did I give that to you?
Yeah, you did.
I have a terrible memory, so.
No, you gave it to me a while back. I have had it a long time.
You have had it a while.
And you gave it to me, and I didn't have a chance to hang it up until I got here to this office.
I think I got that for you at the same time I got my dad I think they had a Millennium Falcon one.
Ah, okay.
And so I think I got them at the same time.
You may have. Well, I've had it, but I just put it up a year ago. So
yeah. Put it up when you put it up. It's up now. That's all that matters.
It is, and everybody gets to see it.
All
So
right. So back to your Amazon devices soon sharing your internet with your neighbors. So if you use an Alexa, an Echo, or many other Amazon devices, that's all it says. You only have 10 days until you're opted into an experiment that leaves your personal privacy and security hanging in the balance.
uh,
So this article was from 3 days ago, so you've got 7 days.
6 days. This
6
is like
days. It's June
June
8th.
8th.
So they are going to start automatically enrolling your device in a service called Amazon Sidewalk. It will share a small slice of your internet bandwidth with neighboring Sidewalk capable devices that don't have connectivity. Um, so you're going to lose some of your internet bandwidth to random other Amazon devices that they have deemed more worthy than your devices to have internet.
Yeah. I don't know about this.
So the full list of devices, and so just so everybody's aware, Amazon owns Ring. So Ring floodlight cameras, Ring spotlight cameras that are wired, Ring spotlight cam mount, the mount itself,
Yep.
Echo Dot for kids, Echo Dot with clock, Echo Plus, Echo Show, Echo Spot, Echo Studio, Echo Input, and Echo Flex. If you need to, go back and re-listen to that slower. So yeah, there is a way to turn it off, and I will tell you that how to do that right now.
Please do.
Open,
That's
what's
what I
that?
want to do. I need to do that.
Yeah, open your Alexa app. Once you're in there, is Jeremiah going to do this while we're doing this?
I
Does he know?
was
Does
going to,
Jeremiah
but
know where his phone is?
I don't.
Did
That's
you know you could ask Google to find your phone for you?
yeah. I knew it was here. All right, so walk me through this here.
All right, so open
This
the
is
Alexa app. I don't have any Amazon products, so
I have one. Okay, so I'm in the app.
all right. Now we go to open more,
Man, I got to
and then
sign in.
oh,
So part of when you get a new phone is going into every app
signing
and
into all
making
your devices again.
yeah. Obviously, I don't use this app, so you can go ahead and keep explaining. I'll figure
All
it
right.
out.
Opening more and then selecting settings. Once you're in wow. Settings, select account settings. Once you're in account settings, select Amazon Sidewalk. And then once you're in Amazon Sidewalk, turn off Amazon Sidewalk.
Am I okay? Device settings? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, I'm totally lost.
Open the Alexa app.
I'm in settings.
We're doing tech support over the internet right now. So you're in account settings. Go to account settings.
Oh, I went to device settings.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. Amazon Sidewalk.
Yep. And then turn
Disable.
off Amazon Sidewalk.
So please do this. That's our recommendation.
So the article at the end, the last paragraph says, no doubt the benefits of Sidewalk for some people will outweigh the risks, but for the many, if not the vast majority of users, there's little upside and plenty of downside. Amazon representatives didn't respond to request for comment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I already
interesting choice.
It is. I already have so many devices that is using my internet.
Yeah, right.
I don't need to share a portion of it with anybody.
And who knows? Here's the thing about something like this, though. So they say it's only for other devices that use Amazon Sidewalk, but who's to say that someone can't hack some other random device to somehow connect to the Amazon Sidewalk network, and now you're sharing it with someone who's uploading porn, or
Right.
whatever. I mean, like,
And I don't know that it's so where we are, we live in neighborhoods. So I don't know.
you never know though. Someone could literally be just sitting in a car outside your house
Could
connecting to
be.
this.
Oh, and I'm just saying it's probably less likely for us being in a home, but I think this would scare me even more if I lived in an apartment building,
Yeah.
in an urban
Where
situation where
anybody can sit there for like days or weeks or months, like trying to hack into whatever.
exactly. It's astonishing that I still find Wi-Fi's whether I'm just wherever I am, that are like wide open, no password or nothing. And it's,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh, speaking of, I recently at work, this is only related to Wi-Fi and open networks. So for the longest time, so I've been at the company that I've been at for 2 years now.
Mhm.
Company shall remain nameless. I don't think I've mentioned it on here. I don't know.
Are they looking for cloud architects? Just kidding.
Definitely not. Um, but they have had this random Wi-Fi access point broadcasting a random Wi-Fi signal using a technology for those who are not tech savvy called WEP, which is an old, very insecure internet um, uh, technology. Like it's supposed to secure your Wi-Fi network, but it was it was hacked a long time ago, and it's super easy to break into. They've had this broadcasting for I don't know, like 5+ years, I think. Whenever
Wow.
they moved into the building,
Why?
uh, I think partially because nobody could find it. I'm not even joking. Not even joking. It took me like 2 years to find this. I finally found it like 2 weeks ago. Um, I just and it wasn't like it's all consuming of my time. It
Sure.
took
No, no,
two
no.
years to
Yeah.
find it, but it's like off and on. It's like, I should probably do something about that because who knows who has access to that and who could then get on the network and all that stuff. Super insecure to have this
Right.
random device that I don't control. Um, but it was in the ceiling and it was plugged into an outlet, which means I couldn't just like turn off the port on the switch to kill the power to it, which is
Right.
how you would normally control it. Um, so I had to physically find this device and come to find out. So someone who's been there for a while, who doesn't work in the internal IT department, was like, "Yeah, the last people who worked here were trying to find that." And I'm like, "Oh, great." But I literally went around with my laptop and like a signal strength meter to try and figure out,
Yes.
at least give me an idea of where it is. And I kind of triangulated it. And then I was like, okay, so this is kind of coming from the same place as this other Wi-Fi access point that we have installed. And so I just popped up the ceiling tile and I was like, well, found it.
There you
Unplugged
go.
that thing, threw it in the trash, and away it went.
So was this like just a previous employer, or was it a previous IT person, like
Uh,
internal IT?
so the previous internal IT guys could not find it.
Oh, okay.
But the ones before them are the ones who installed it. But it was like the only access point, the only Wi-Fi for the whole building at the time that they installed this thing. And
Oh, yeah.
the guy who told me about it was like, "Yeah, that it was real slow." I was like, "Yeah, it's one access point for everybody, and y'all are all real far away from it. Like this is terrible."
So I think everybody can relate when you go into a position, just the kind of things that are left over. Maybe not from, like you said, not the most recent previous person, but
Yeah.
we tend to find things in any kind of position that people before us did or didn't do.
Things just get left, or it's just like that's the way we've done
Yeah.
it, and now it's just gonna stay there forever.
Yeah.
It's really not how I operate. So
Well, good for you. Good looking out for your company. That's an achievement. You
you
should be walking around like me, so confident.
if you could see me in my confident fake walk over here.
There you go. Love
Uh,
it. Love it.
chest out, arms wagging, head swinging back and forth. Um, so I think this next news topic kind of leads me into our main topic. Kind of spurred my imagination to some extent. So Samsung, um, not the company that necessarily makes the phones and TVs and things like that, but so Samsung and most other like LG, they all have like uh, they have spun off their like screen or camera manufacturers into their own companies. And so
Mhm.
Samsung has their own company that makes their OLED screens or their screens for devices and in TVs and things like that. And so they released a bunch of like essentially tech demos of like, hey, these are the kinds of devices we can make with the screens that we make. So obviously companies like Samsung buys these screens from uh, their
Child
display company,
Yeah.
but then also other companies can buy them as well. And so what's interesting to me about some of these is that they're kind of the same, but they're very different from each other. So one of them is essentially a gigantic tablet, not tablet. It's a gigantic like computer monitor sized screen that folds in half.
It
So it's
looks almost like a magazine. Like,
yeah, that's a good description.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a magazine sized screen when you open it completely uh, on both pages.
The
I'm doing a
picture.
really terrible job
What,
describing this.
so the picture, and I'll show. I mean, the picture looks like if you were have a cookbook on the stand and you're reading. I know there's graphs and stuff, but it's like if you're looking and you're cooking, that would be your cookbook.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, this would be a great device for magazines or if you are blind, books. Uh, but I could also see someone making this into a computer where the
Sure.
bottom screen is the keyboard or something like that. You'd have to make it to where you could actually feel that because I think just a screen with keys would be super weird
Yeah.
by itself. But
Well, just a little Bluetooth keyboard.
yeah, so that's one of them. Another one is a slidable OLED display. So that essentially like rolls it kind of rolls up into a side device, but so it like starts at a regular phone size and then it kind of expands by just pulling it out like a scroll to some degree.
I like that. That I could do because then it could just if I wanted it to be bigger. But would it
Yeah,
fold back in like a tape measure?
yeah.
Do you
Well,
like my
probably
sound effect?
not so violently, no. But the other cool thing is that they have an under display camera in this device. So you don't
Mhm.
even see the selfie camera on this. It's just hidden under the display.
Right. Which I like. I don't need
Yeah,
a camera.
it's going to be the future. I think eventually you'll see that in almost like every device.
Oh, I'm sure.
You'll
Yeah.
have some sort of built-in camera, which could be slightly creepy if you don't know it's there. But that's a problem for future people. They also have a laptop screen that does the same thing. So it's got that under display camera.
Mhm.
Nothing super crazy about this one other than the bezels on the screen are like non-existent. So it's just like just screen at the top of the laptop, which looks really nice. Um, and then they have an S foldable display is what they call it. Kind of looks, uh, to me, it looks more like a Z, but you know, they make S devices. Uh, so it folds in like a Z or an accordion some degree. So you
Yeah.
can fold it and unfold it.
That one looks kind of weird to me.
Yeah, that
I
makes
don't
it
like
like
that one.
it makes a really long device. So it starts out as a normal phone screen sized device, and then it kind of essentially folds out two other screen sizes worth of screen,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So you end
Eh,
up with like a really long device, which is
awkward.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would probably be best for watching movies, I would imagine, because it's
Probably.
got more of a movie aspect ratio. Um, but this leads me into our main topic. So our main topic is dream device. What would it look like? Not everything about the dream device, but what would it look like? Have you thought about this?
So I was watching a movie recently.
A movie.
Oh, I know what it was. It was a TV show. Um, Download. I don't know. It's on Amazon Prime. But their phone screen was essentially their hand.
Interesting.
So it was something like an in in their as a biomechanical, I assume. So when they moved their hand a certain gesture, the screen would pop up and they could make the phone call. Or actually, did it come out the side? I don't know. But then they would that was their phone, and then
Yeah.
that
That made me
that's
sorry.
cool.
Yeah, keep going.
No. Go. I was just gonna say that was good.
Well, that just made me think. I feel like they could turn watches into that, right? Like you've got your Apple Watch or your Android Wear watch or something.
Mhm.
So that's your like only device, right? So you would wear it on your wrist, but then you flip your hand over, and now it's like poof, it's shooting out the display into your palm, and you can touch it and you can do all that sort of thing. It'd be kind of an
Yeah.
interesting sort of like first step to get to that point.
Well, and that would be my dream device. The fact that I wouldn't have to actually carry a device, it would somehow be minimalized and available, whether it's in my glasses. I know Elon wants to be able to have the internet in your head eventually,
Yeah.
you know. But just something that would be uh not really a device, I guess, would be the, or as minimal as possible. Because I don't like things. I don't like big. That would be my dream device, to not have a device,
Interesting.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you? I know you've been thinking about this.
Well, you're making me change my mind. I like the idea of a device. I kind of like that idea of like I was kind of geeking out on the whole watch thing. Like I think that would be super cool to have that. When I was first thinking about this, my thought is it's almost probably slightly thicker than like a normal pin, but like a device that's kind of the shape of a pin. It would have cameras on the outside or whatever, so you could still take really good photos with it. But then it would like unroll like a scroll, kind of like
That
that
phone.
screen. But it
Uh-huh.
would be you could scroll out a little bit, and you could do just like normal phone screen size things. But you could also leave it completely rolled up and use it like that.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it wouldn't look too weird to have that like using just like this pin-sized
Stick.
device. Yeah. Stick, if you will, a phone stick. Um, and then you could unroll it even more to get that tablet sized. Now you're watching a movie sort of screen, or you know
Mhm.
that to me when I was thinking about this at first would be kind of a nice size to have because it kind of fits three different sizes at the same time.
Right,
Right.
right.
You can use it very minimal, and you'd still be able to see certain things on the like side of the stick without having to unroll anything. You could see who's calling. You could answer calls, take pictures, videos, things like that. Very basic things without having to really unroll anything. But if you wanted to do anything more involved, you could open a little bit, get your phone sized screen out, and then if you wanted to watch like a movie or something, poof, turns into a tablet, and now you can watch your movies on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like my idea better. Yours was good.
But
I
mine
think
was better.
mine was better.
I'm just so I think if it was built into a watch, I'd probably be down for it. I think if I had to embed anything in my body, I'd probably be out.
But see, I don't know. I don't, because that leads to all kinds, again, privacy and all kinds of other things with your body.
Privacy,
But
ethical, yeah.
right, but I mean, yeah, I think the watch idea does sound a little bit better. It's just projecting it onto your hand holographically. We know that we talked about it last week with Google and their 3D
Yeah.
uh holograms. So wow. Yeah, I just like the idea of being minimalized though. I don't even wear my watch every day, so I don't know that I would use it.
I mean, if it was your phone, you probably would.
Probably. Probably.
But I mean,
But
you
then
can even, as it stands right now, I feel like you're not that far away from the watch idea from being
right.
a reality because most of those things you can already do on an Apple Watch,
Yeah.
and other watches. But you, to take it to the next level where it's just a projection onto your hand, essentially. Granted, your the size of your hand would, you know, predicate how large your phone is. So if you have a tiny hand, you have a tiny phone.
Well, you can't hold the big phone either. If you have a tiny hand, you can't hold the big phone.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised.
Maybe if they had a third thumb, they
That's
could hold
right.
a bigger phone.
Genius. It's almost like if you don't know what we're talking about, you should listen or watch our podcast from last week. Um, but yeah, so I think they're probably not that far off. So Google has the Soli radar chip. It's not super accurate at the moment, but it's supposed to be able to predict and figure out what you're doing in the air. So if you just have like the projection sticking out of your wrist and then you use like a radar chip or something to be able to interact with the phone, I
Right.
think you're mostly there. The battery would suck, but you're mostly there to a device that works.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little bulky at first, but I bet
Oh
over
yeah,
5 years or so they could shrink that down pretty far. I
I
feel
think
like
so.
I feel like my dream device is more a reality that they could make in the next like 2 years. Like,
Well, now especially seeing that they already make the screens
yeah,
that do that.
yeah. So it's definitely doable. I don't think I'd ever want it to where I don't have some device that I could just set aside and not interact with it. Like I couldn't do my glasses. I think that would
Uh,
be far too distracting. I had Google Glass for a while,
right.
and it was just I'm sure things could be better, but it was just never perfect. It was never the way I would want it to be.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to, and most people probably wouldn't want to have to wear glasses all the time anyways. So that would be like it just wouldn't work out. So you got to find something where you can set things down and just like put it down for a while and not be attached to it all the time.
Probably that would,
That's my criteria.
yeah. I just want it attached, so I always have it, and then I would never lose it.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Two great perspectives on.
Two very different dream devices.
Well, good. All right. Well, I tell you what, I have a special story that I'm going to tell next week. Someone convinced me to share the story. I didn't have time tonight, but I've got something lined up for next week. So that's a teaser. If you're listening, I have a truly dramatic story to share next week. So I hope that you subscribe on YouTube or any podcast app that you listen to. Go on Facebook, like us, check out the video for the tire. It's funny. It'll brighten your day up.
Yeah.
And anything else, Craig?
Just leave us comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. If you have any suggestions for things, we're always looking to talk about new things, different things. So let us
Exactly.
know.
So awesome. So until next week.
Ta ta.